Welcome to Living in Beauty. It's Thursday, February 9th, 2017, and we're in Conehatta, Mississippi again. Actually, we've been here for a couple of weeks now. When the folks here at Turkey Creek State Park heard we were on our way and why, they gave us the Jackie O spot overlooking the reservoir. Sweet. You know, that proverb about smoke and fire, it's worthy of consideration. When we were in Florida shopping for fish to smoke, I got a phone call. It was Sunday morning, January 22, 2017, and the call could have been much worse. "Hey, sugar," my dad said, a little too cheerful, and some weakness in his voice set me on alert. "Hey, Daddy, what's going on?" "Well, now, I'm okay, but the house burned down. It's all gone." Then my voice got trembly and scared. "What?" Dad was with my brother Chris, calling from his truck. It was about 8:30 a.m., Mississippi time. Exhausted, they were watching the firefighters pack up and pull out. "Yeah, it burned down this morning, honey. It's all gone." "What happened, Dad?" It was storming when he came home. The power was out, as usual, during sizable storms. Dad fell asleep in bed, waiting for the power to resume. About 3:30 a.m., he woke to strange sounds in the basement, slipped into his jeans, which still held his wallet, keys, and iPhone, stepped out into the hallway, and saw thick black smoke spilling from the basement door. He walked another 25 feet or so, grabbed a coat from the rack, and walked out the front door for the last time. Dad called 911 immediately, and then my brother Chris, who lives nearby. Dad commenced to moving the vehicles away from the house. Just as Dad called, Chris got the fire alert and suited up. In less than 5 minutes, the Conehatta Fire Department, where my dad is a founding member and my brother serves as a volunteer, arrived in front of the Greenfield and the Decatur Volunteer Fire Departments. It was a 3-alarmer. Throughout the morning, the teams used over 20,000 gallons of water, but the blaze continued. The water soaked the yard around the house, and the tanker trucks sank in the mud. Explosions erupted. Trucks had to be towed out to get them away from the intense heat. Finally, Dad told them to just pull everything back and let it burn before someone got hurt. "You're alive and safe, and that's all that matters, Dad. Try to get some rest, okay?" The house smoldered for days. The same storm system that started Dad's house fire turned towards southeast Florida, bringing tornadoes and lightning hundreds of miles away to our campsite at Chassahowitzka River. 5 days later, after the fire, we arrived to see the house Dad built 40 years ago and our Living in Beauty home base reduced to ashes. Inspired by our story, The Clearing, where we explain our process to unburden ourselves of items and property which hindered or complicated our dream of full-time airstreaming, our friend Tim West began his own soulful adventure of intentional divestment and often shares his discoveries on his Facebook page. Tim, a brilliant actor, poet, and playwright, explores mundane relics of his past life, like a priest or pirate, holding them up to the light to examine their worthiness. On January 27th at 1:17 a.m., he wrote, "Yesterday, I tackled 6 banker boxes, keepsakes boxed up when I cleared Ma's apartment after her death in 2014. Kumeyaay crafts I'd gotten her as gifts. Her collection of elegant volumes of poetry by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Most touchingly, things of mine she'd kept for years. I found space for them. They say the key to divestment is to realize you must surrender the old to make way for the new things in your life. Sometimes the new things are old." On the drive back to Mississippi, Jim kept thinking about his father's watches, silver dollars his mother gave him, a few vintage magic tricks, and some large family portraits, all stored away in Dad's basement. The moment we pulled up to the property on January 27th, Jim grabbed a pair of gloves and walked directly into the ruins like a man who was late for an appointment. He found a spot that looked safe enough, dropped to his knees, And there before him, lying atop the rubble, were his dad's Navy dog tags and pocket watch. Yeah, it's all just stuff, but... That first day of plundering the ruins for non-combustible memories, Mama's copper cookware, silver service, Dad's class ring. I asked Dad what was the first nugget of wisdom that comes to the top of his head following this disaster. He didn't even have to ponder. Use the good china every day. Tim West says, loss is being asked to divest before we're ready. Salvage is being given things we thought we'd lost or came close to losing. Redemption is when you give up something of value and something better follows. This is the first time I've ever experienced a material loss of this magnitude, and my observation is how quickly the focus changes from what you've lost to what you have. But I'm worried about Dad. He's losing sleep. Oh, he's past regret over what he lost in the house fire, but now he's staying up all night designing his new house. Even redemption comes with a price. My daddy still loves to build things. Thanks so much for joining us at Living in Beauty. Special thanks this week goes to the Daily Grind in Meridian, Mississippi. We have to drive nearly an hour to get Wi-Fi just so we can write this blog. The Daily Grind makes the daily drive so worthwhile. Okay, that's it. Have a great week.